Hi, hello, how are you? This is Crimson Wolf and I wanted to make some kind of a guide to the Legends of Keepers game. Currently it is a dungeon crawler game where you make your own dungeons and actually I couldn't find any guides for this game. Usually I'm a roguelike player, like I like turn-based games and I play them, and the moment I start playing them the first thing I do is look at the guides so that I know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm kind of a power creeper. I want to know the broken combos and use them in the game. But the problem with that is I couldn't find any for the Legends of Keepers games. I mean, it makes sense. This is still an early access game, and there aren't that many people playing it. I mean, we are in the version uh, 09, 05 for fuck's sake. Anyway, so at least for now, I wanted to make it so that people will be able to have a basic idea if they watch this video, which I doubt. I mean, come on, this is my first video, so I doubt anyone will be watching. But if you are watching it, you are lucky because I will try to share my own ideas and think what is good, at least in this current version. I don't know when you are watching this, if you are watching this, so I will at least try to give a simple breakdown of the game, what I understand, what is good in this version or compared to what I think. And yeah, so let's go. I will just make a single run of the basic game. I want actually, I don't know, let's check. So in the game you have three heroes. In order to play them you have to reach certain levels in other heroes. Slaveholder, this is the hero or legend or the fucking final boss. I don't know what you call it. This is the one we will be playing today because this is the original one you get in after the tutorial, like the first one you will play. After you reach level 6 with this one, you get to play Enchantress, which I haven't played yet, so I mean, yeah. And then after you reach level 6 with Enchantress, you can play Engineer. So I'm trying to give a simple breakdown, and I will explain things as I go. Okay. So we will be going with Slaveholder. As you can see, they each have their own stats. Like Slaveholder gets uh, strong monsters, and that's where his strength lies. Enchantress has good spells, and as for Engineer, she has good traps or something. I don't know. I haven't played anything aside from Slaveholder, and this is the one we will be focusing on our kinda guide slash tutorial today.
Torture?
Okay,
It's a passion.
so in here you can see the basic stats of your legend, hero, final boss, whatever the fuck this is. Anyway, we don't really care about that because we can change anything here. Even if we watch and read it, it won't do us any good. So let's just skip this place and continue. Okay, in here you can choose the game mode you will be playing. If you're a streamer, you will have to choose the custom mode because only with the custom mode you can Twitch stream the game. Actually, you can stream it any way you want, but the game only supports your Twitch if you use the custom mode. Like the game has its own Twitch mode, and you can only use it with custom mode. Anyway, we won't be going custom mode. We will be doing the default run because since this is a kind of tutorial, we have to go with the most basic one. Anyway, so as you can see, we have different sets of creatures. What we are choosing in here is the what kind of a creature army we want to start with, and after you clear all of them you get rewards, certain rewards. So if you want your game to be interesting, you want to clear every one of them at least once and get the rewards, and you have to do it for each of the heroes. So it kind of makes the replayable, I can say the fucking word, but you get mine. You will want to play the game again and again and again, but I don't know, it's kind of boring. I don't really think this is a very good system of making players want to play again. Anyway, so as you can see, this is the default, this is the classic one. We will start with Slaveholder. These are the monsters we will be getting. Don't mind the weird pumpkins, it is because of the Halloween event at the time of my recording. So if you clear the game with this mod, you will get the Bone Catapult reward, which I think sucks. It's a trap, so when you clear trap rewards you will be offered it, but if you never cleared this default mode you won't ever be offered Bone Catapult. So like as you can see, I also finished the Return of the Vampire yesterday. I mean, I'm still new to the game, I haven't finished everything for fuck's sake. Anyway, you from now on, whenever you offered a legendary monster, you will also have the chance to be offered the vampire. That's what I mean by rewards. Anyway, so this is the one we will be going with. This is pretty basic. You have your goblin, your orc, your yeti, skeleton archer, another yeti skeleton, fire mage, a ghost, a gargoyle, whatever the fuck this is. It's like a little goblin sitting on a throne, and it's a soul trap. You know, the one pops out from the ground and slashes everyone. Anyway, this is the monsters we will be picking today. Let's continue. This is where you will be choosing your talents. I mean, each monster has their own talents, and as you can see, there are levels. Each time you clear the game you gain XP. With each gain of your XP your hero levels up. With each level up you have your talent points, which you can think of as skills, and you can upgrade them. I might make a little breakdown here. If you are playing Slave Order, this is the one I definitely think you should have. So this one here gives your master, the final boss, this guy right here, this motherfucker. Each time he takes damage, his damage rises by 10%. If you make this level 1, he has a 50% chance of getting a level rise. If you have 2 levels, he has a chance of 100% of getting damage rise. Or damage boost. Yeah, damage boost is a better word. Sorry for my broken English, I'm not really a native speaker. Anyway, so as you can see, if you are playing Slave Order, this is a must have. And aside from this, I usually go to this route. In this route, whenever a hero is defeated by a monster, all the other monsters get a 20% chance of getting Enrage 3, which means 30% of damage boost. Then you can have this. With this, your monsters have a 30% chance of getting motivation, which is pretty important. I will explain what it is in the dungeon. And this reduces the price of monsters. As you might know, just like heroes in this game, our monsters can also level up, and they don't level up naturally like, okay, I defeated this hero, give me XP and level up. No, they don't level up like that. You have to buy the fucking level ups. It is the manifestation of capitalist society. If you wanna get stronger, you have to pay money. And thanks to this little talent here, we reduce the prices by 20%. It might not seem much, but when you have close to 20 monsters and you have to level up each of them, it really comes in clutch, you know. And this here is adds a skeleton dog. It's a pretty neat monster. It's a little logo, but a skeleton. And this one here is the OG vampire. It gives you a legendary creature, which is a vampire, and it stacks bleeding on the opponent heroes, and it's a pretty neat monster, and I like using it. It's my favorite. But since this is a vanilla, I won't be using talents, and I mean, let's be honest, the maximum level is level 20, and I don't even know half the talents because I don't have enough points to go there, so I can't comment if they are good or not. But I really recommend the Vampire tree because everyone likes legendary monsters, and I especially like starting with a legendary monster. Okay, so let's start.
Let's get to work!
Okay, so in this game, every 5 weeks, every action consists of 1 week, and every 5 weeks you have to fight against heroes, or as the game likes to call it, adventurers. And as the final boss of the dungeon, we don't want them to succeed, because if they succeed, we die, and I mean, unless you're suicidal, you don't wanna die, right? So This is our first battle, but before that let's check our employees, our monsters. Okay, we have a goblin. It's a pretty neat unit. It isn't tanky as you might expect of a goblin. The only thing good going for it is the debuffs. I mean, debuff isn't the correct term here. I think it's the damage over time, yeah. It has two kinds of damage over time. The first kind is where you get in level 1. Is the front attack. You can see in down below. It deals 35 nature damage, basically poison damage, and applies poison 3. So the opponent monsters take 15 damage next turn, 10 damage the turn after. I mean, the damage over time in this game is sucks, but if you are going the damage over time route, you have to stack as much of them as possible. And the second damage over time this goblin possesses is bleeding, which is very good with the vampires. So yeah, that's why it's a neat thing, but it guess that when it's level up it's still too weak to be of use. And this one here is a orc. Yeah, orc, shots, deals moral damage, basically scaring the heroes. It's a beefy tank, like it doesn't deal much damage. Only use for it has is soaking up the damage, and even in that it doesn't really do a good job because most of the heroes deal either fire or air damage, so it is usually good against the Shaolin monks or the... I will show them to you. They are little pieces of shit with a lot of body fat and bald hair. Bald hair. That's a weird term, bald hair. I mean, I meant bald head. Yeah, bald head. Like, they are bald, with A, not the kind that means brave. Then there is the Yeti here. It's usually you want to use it as a speed reduction. In the turns, each time a turn starts, you have this chart here in this left corner of the screen, and it shows you which monster will go next. And as you can see in the monsters, they have a speed stat. The arrows pointing up. Those speed stats says who will go first. The higher it is, the better for you. Like the goblin here, it's a very sleepy motherfucker. It's a very fast motherfucker. It will go very fast. But the meaty tank here is very slow. It has a 30 speed. Like the usually is 80 to 60. Like 30 is very low. Like you will notice it. The more health a monster has, aside from the legendaries, they will be very slow. The more health they have, the slower they are. The less health they have, the faster they are. And the slow is because of that very good, because if you use slow, let's say our 80 speed, which is average, will be able to go before the heroes and they will have another attack in. As for this little spectre here, it's a ghost. They usually deal moral damage, which is the second health bar of heroes. The first health bar is simple. It's the health. I mean, it's in the name, health bar. The second moral bar is the kinda second health bar of the heroes. Whichever one of the two goes to 0, the hero loses. If you reduce their health bar to 0, they die, obviously. So they die. Yeah. As for the moral bar, when the moral bar hits 0, the hero will run away. Because they are scared shitless. They are going to pee their pants, shit their pants, take off their pants, I don't know, there are too many pants here. And they will run back to their mommy to suck on their teeth, saying that, Mommy, I'm scared, there's a monster in the dungeon, I don't wanna go there anymore. Yeah. Obviously we wanna go there, but I don't really like using moral because not all the monsters have good moral attacks. Like usually moral is a damage over time thing and I don't like it. Like I find it more straightforward that I smash, they die. That's why I said I'm a noob in this game. Like most, I should say, veteran players could probably use morals kind of builds, but I definitely can't. So since we saw our monsters, let's start on the dungeon. So, before we start in the dungeon, let me tell you when the game will end or when we win. The losing is obvious. When the heroes reach the last room and they kill us, we die. That's the game lose. Nothing there. But as for the when we will the game has week system, as I said. In every 5 weeks, like in week 1 we are fighting against heroes, in week 6 we will be fighting against heroes again, but in week 52 we will be fighting against the champion type heroes. Like, they are the baddest motherfuckers there are. Like, they are so strong that they are like a class of their own. Like, there aren't any other adventures like them. Like, they are the main protagonists of anime or manga or book. Like, they are the chosen ones. Like, they are Harry Potter or some shit, I don't know. And we have to fight against them and win against them. That's the week 52. We have to make it to week 52. And after that we are starting all over again from week 53, and we have to make it week 104 this time. So basically, in this world we have to survive for 2 years before we can climb the capitalist society and be the boss of every dungeon monster there is. So we won't be doing grunt work. Instead, we will say, okay, you Hydra, go this dungeon, there are heroes coming. We will be the CEO of the fucking dungeon monsters. That's our goal. So we have to survive for 2 years. Okay. So this is our first dungeon, and our reward will be a monster. So we will be upgrading our army. Yeah, army. Sorry, I have a potato computer, so it might take a while. And here we go. Alright, I forgot the background music. Where? Audio and music. Excuse me. Huh. Thank you. This game has a medieval type of music. I will slow down the game. So, as you can see, we are currently building our dungeon. We know which heroes will be coming. We know which skills they have. And depending on that, we will be building our dungeon suited to their tastes. You know, the ones which they will be killed. We don't want to give them an easy time. So, let's check the first one. This is a priestess. They are attacking front with air damage. Okay, so we have to have an air resistant tank in the front. But before that, let's check the other one. Oh, a rogue, a thug, a bandit without an arm. Actually, that's a pretty cool animation. Anyway, they attack the front, in other words, this place, with poison. So we have to have air resistance and poison resistance at the same time. That's gonna be tricky. And this guy, it attacks everywhere with fire. Yeah, I don't really care. Every monster is weak against fire in this game. Almost every, like, not everyone. So we need a poison resistant and air resistant tank. We have 2 tanks, which are this little motherfucker and this Bigfoot right here. So, are you good against air? Yes. Are you good against nature? No. Are you good against air? No. Are you good against nature? Yes. Then, okay, this deals 45, this deals 50. Okay, then, since the poison damage is higher and this guy is more resistant against poison, we will be using this guy. Hello. This is how we use or place the monsters. I don't know. It is really hard doing this YouTube thing. Yeah. Okay, so from now on, since everyone is attacking front, we don't need another tank for another place. Like, sometimes heroes attack the back and you want to place another tank to the back. But for now we will be using our damage dealers. This nerd right here and this little archer right here. I want to curse, but I don't know. Just leave me be. So, okay, the front is poison resistant. Then we will be using our little goblin to attack the front, and the back side is... Actually, this guy is weak against ice. we should be using this guy because it attacks back row with ice. Yeah, this is a good idea, this is a good idea. I'm such a fucking genius. Okay, this is where we place our traps. Because after this room we don't have a monster room, instead we have a spell room. I will be explaining it when we get to that. There are actually three types of actually there are a lot of types of traps, but we can classify them into two types. One, the kind that applies a debuff to your opponent, be it damage over times or weaknesses to a certain type of damage, like fire, like giving fire weaknesses or poison weaknesses or even air weaknesses. The second type is the one that deals moral damage and makes them terrified. The less happy they are, or the more scared they are, the less their happiness meter, the moral meter right here, goes down, the more damage they have. So moral type is good, but as I said, I don't really like. And the last type is the kind that buffs our own masters, like this Rallying Horn right here. It gives -10 moral to the enemy heroes, and it gives 30% damage boost to our own heroes. So I will be using this guy right here. Confirm. Go. And this is the spell room. We will go into it when the dungeon starts. And in here, I think we don't really need breathing. I think we will go with the moral because our second room is more heavily focused on moral, so we want to capitalize on that. I should say. Whatever the fuck. Anyway, again, we will use the orc, this handsome motherfucker. Then I wanna use this guy, and let's check. Yeah, no, not this guy. This guy. Yeah. I didn't wanna use the skeleton mage, the skeleton fire mage, because it attacks the backline with fire damage, and the backline we have a fire mage who is 60% resistant to fire. It wouldn't make sense to use him right here. Like, this is the main thing you have to focus when you're choosing your monsters. Look at what kind of damage they deal, where they deal, and if the opponent there, or at least the opponent you assume will be there, is resistant to damage. Like, you wanna use the damage type that they are weak against. Like, let's look at this guy. This guy here deals air damage, and this guy is weak against air by 15%. If we had a, I don't know, maybe an ice type dealer like the one in the first room, the Yeti, the Bigfoot, the OG, we would be using that. But because we don't, and because the damage type we have is air, like even a physical attack would be good, but we don't have any physical attackers. This room sucks, I hate this room. We need more monsters. So we will be using air because this guy here weaks against air, and this guy too. Only this guy is strong against air, but we can't really do anything against them. So, and this is the boss room. This is us, the final boss. So, actually, you know what? Yeah, this is better. This is better. I felt like the music was drowning my own voice. Okay, so let's look at it. This deals about 35 damage and 15 turn, and about 25. No, actually not 25. 30. 65 damage, 35 on the spot, and 30 later. And this guy is weak against nature, so we will be using it. Go, my little goblin. Yeah, you little cute goblin. I like goblins. They are goblins. Oh fuck, don't die, don't die! Fuck. Oh yeah, let me explain why our Yeti was in the front. The reason is this little motherfucker here had a skill. At the first fight of the dungeon, like the first fight in here, it randomly places monsters to the other place. You have to check it. I forgot to check it because I suck. So yeah. Then goodbye. Now can you please die? Okay, this deals 10, this deals 25, no, it won't die. She won't die! Okay, our monster. Oh! Ooh! This deals. Yeah. I was already surprised he survived that long. And she died. Yay! Okay. Now, as you can see, our monsters have 30% damage boost. Now what we can do here is for our first spell. This is a spell room. In this room, your hero has 3 spells. At least Slaveholder has 3 spells. I haven't played Enchantress or Engineer, so I can't comment about them, but Slaveholder has 3 spells. You can, categorize them into 3 spells because they are 3 spells. The first one deals damage to the front monster. It seems much in the earlier ones, but if you don't upgrade this one, it is gonna suck in the later ones and you won't be using it much. The ones you will be using it much are Show No Mercy, which gives 30% damage boost to your next monsters. This is this guy here, which already had 30% damage boost from our previous trap, so they will be getting a total of 60% damage boost. And this is the guy here, which scares monsters and I don't really like using them. But yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, you know what, actually, let's go for morale, because this room focuses on morale. And they're already halfway there. And yo, they are really halfway there, and they will die. Okay, little Spectre, come here. Yes. I think of this guy more like, what was his name again? You know, the ghost guy from Ben 10. Anyway, bye bye, little rogue. This guy is about to cry to his mama too. Go, shout and scare him. Yeah. He has 86. No, not 86. He has 5 mortals left, which will be gone by this little attack. Bye bye. So, the game is over. We sometimes can't see the full portraits here, but I will be explaining everything. So, after every dungeon, we gain 3 resources. First one, blood. You get blood while killing heroes. The second resource is tears. You get tears whenever heroes run away. The third resource is gold, because you know, heroes, we kinda pickpocket them or loot their corpses, whichever works for our benefit. But gold, yeah, the bane of, not the bane, the lifeblood of the capital system. Without gold, nothing in this world, at least in the game world and maybe the real world, it wouldn't work. So yeah, gold. So I will explain the uses of blood and tear when the time comes. Anyway, so right now, the reward of this dungeon run was that since we succeeded, our company decided to give us a bonus. They said, okay, you did good, so because of your achievement, we are gonna give you an opportunity to recruit a new monster. So we have 3 kinds of monsters in here. First is Flame Eater, a very good fire type demon monster. You can see the you know, the red little thing under the level 1 sign. That's the sign of the demon tribe. This little guy is a Naga. It focuses on moral damage. I hate moral damage, so we won't be taking this guy ever unless I'm doing a moral run where I'm solely focused on scaring away the heroes. And this little guy, our little doggo. So this skeleton dog here is good for buffing your party and dealing bleeding damage. If you pair it up with vampire, it works wonders because your vampire, anyway, I will show it to you if we ever had a vampire. So as for choosing monsters, I will be saying you one advice. When you are choosing monster, think of what kind of a build you want to have. This might be a new term to you because since you are watching this video, I'm assuming that you are new to the game and want to learn how it works. So by build, I mean that what kind of a damage type you want to focus on while playing this game. For example, let's say you have a vampire in your team, which is good for bleeding damage because you know vampire suckles on blood, common knowledge. But there are also other types of damage like ice damage or fire damage or poison damage. Depending on them, you want to build your traps, heroes and artifacts to support that type. Like for example, if you are playing a vampire or if you want to make a bleeding dungeon build, because you know there's an achievement for that, I don't know, yeah, you can see this team I check. If you wanna build, if you want to get the achievement, you have to make 20 damage over time bleeding at the same time, which is a very good damage type. Then there is also the flame damage type, which I really like in this default mode because we have this little guy right here. Okay. So motivation is whenever your monsters die, they lose 2 motivation, and if their motivation is 0, let's say I sent this guy with 1 motivation left to the dungeon and he dies, he will be out of commission for 10 weeks. In other words, he will be out of 2 dungeon runs. We won't be able to use him for 2 dungeon runs. We don't really want that. So we have to check the moral of our heroes, not heroes, our monsters, and let them rest whenever possible. Like you say, okay, I have this hero, I want to use these 3 monsters in this dungeon, so I will be letting this guy rest in the next one. Yeah. So now let's come to the real gameplay of this game. This game is more like a auto battler, like TFT. What you want to do is train your monsters or upgrade your traps or buy new monsters. Everyone has a different persons. In merchant you can buy new traps or monsters. In trainer you can upgrade or level up your monsters, and in the engineer side you can, I mean, it's obvious, you can upgrade your traps. So we will obviously be going to the trainer and upgrading our monsters. Okay, so since we decided, or I decided that I'm going to be going to the flame route because this little guy is very good and this motherfucker can support him, we will be training these two. I mean, the one bad thing about the training system is, I mean, not the system is bad, I should say the window is, like, when you want to upgrade, let's say, health or thing, it says that, okay, when you level up, your health will rise by 10, or your speed will increase by 10. But when it comes to skills, like this guy here, like area damage, it says 27 damage. It shows that with a green mark, it says that, okay, when you level up this monster, it's gonna raise this first skill's damage, right? But it doesn't show how much it raises. So because of that, I can't say, okay, leveling up this hero is good, leveling up this hero is bad. So that's a real downer. I don't really like that. Anyway, let's go. Okay, so business trip. we will definitely be taking this. Event is random events, like you can't control it, it changes every week, but if you are playing slaveholder, you want to choose every business trip there is. Okay, so the one we don't really use is this guy, because I won't be going moral build. So, well, in business trips, your 3 heroes will be chosen, and they won't be available for a couple of weeks, which is written here. But in exchange, the game gives you resources. The one I will be accepting is Harvey Specter. I mean, this Specter guy. I call him Harvey because, you know, the Suits, pretty good series. There's Harvey Specter. I mean, it's a little joke. You might not find it funny, but yeah. So, we will be choosing this one because we don't really use this guy anyway, and it will be giving us 175 gold, which is equals to a level up for our monsters, and 20 blood, which I will explain later when the time comes. So we choose this guy and send him away. Go fuck off, we don't need you. Okay, in here I said merchant, we can buy things, 3 random things in there, either a trap or a monster, but I don't really spend money to buy monsters or trap. I don't really give a fuck about them. What I want is money and leveling up my monsters, so that heroes won't ever be able to reach me. If they can't reach me, they can't kill me. Hashtag logic. So, in here, these little vampires ask us that if they want us tax from us, so we can pay the tax 2 ways. I mean, not really tax. So what happens is, if you refuse their offer, you will be paying them 50 gold. If you accept their offer, they will be paying you 200 gold in exchange for 200 and 400 life. 240 life, 240. What the fuck did I just say? Anyway, as you can see, our maximum life is 1200, and if you lose 240, it won't be much. I mean, we will be healing that anyway, so we will accept that. You can also use blood exchange there, but I don't recommend it unless you have a surplus of blood. Like, don't do it unless you have too much blood. Okay, so let's check our monsters. This little guy, whenever you get a new monsters, it puts it the closest, not closest, the first empty place it could find in our rooms. So we have to check it before the game. We want to pair this guy up with this guy because they both deal fire damage. So yeah. Anyway, so in the next dungeon, let's watch what we are going to do. I don't see the reward. I should have checked the reward. Fuck me. But anyway, there aren't any choices, so I have to pick this one anyway. Hey, oh yeah, in the future you don't have to fight a single hero. Like, there are going to be multiple choices, and you will be basing your choice of how hard they are going to be, which is written in there, and what is the reward. I usually choose based on reward. I don't really care about difficulty. So let's check the heroes first. This little monk, you remember the fat shit I talked about? Yeah, this is the fat little shit. It is very hard to kill, and it has a surplus of morale, so you can't really scare it away easily either. So you just have to hit it and hit it and hit it and hope for it to die. That's why, since it mainly deals ice damage, we will be using this guy, since it is good against ice damage. This guy is attacking front again, nature. Yeah, you know, we talked about that before. And this guy attacks front with fire. Oh fuck! Because our Yeti is weak against fire by 65%. This means she is going to one-shot the fucking Yeti. That's going to be a problem. How is this guy against fire? Yeah, this guy is bad against fire too. We are fucked. But what can we do? This guy, when attacking against monsters, if it kills them, it ricochets back. Basically, it pierces. So when she one-shots Yeti, she's also going to attack here. So we have to put a fire-resistant monster here. But if we put our orc here, he's also going to die and it won't be helpful for us. So I think we should put our skeleton here because it has 45 health and 20% fire resistance, and this will be good for us. So as for the backlines, I'm going to use the goblin again because I like goblins. Okay, so again same thing, next room is a spare room. We can't really gain any benefits, so we might as well boost our monster's damage. Spell, another trap, so yeah, I wish we had an oil cauldron which would give us fire weakness, which we could have used to fucking mow through these guys. So ice, are you good against ice? Yes, you're good against ice. Then 30%, 35%, okay. This guy goes here because it is more resistant against fire, because you know her fire damage. And this guy, we have to find a way to kill her because I mean she has 50% fire resistance and we have a fire type room. Hopefully she dies before reaching that, and if she doesn't, she's gonna move through our team, I should say. Yeah. Nature resistance 15%, doesn't really work. Oh, she has minus 45 melee resistance, physical resistance. Since we can attack the backline, let's go with the physical damage because this guy is resistant against nature and this guy is weak against physical fire damage, not physical fire. What the fuck is a physical fire? Okay, goblin spirit, go. Okay, attack the back line. Okay, she's gonna die before reaching the last room. That's good. Kill him, little goblin! Yeah! Okay, so should we scare them or... Yeah, we should... No, actually I don't want to scare them. I'm gonna boost my monsters so that they'll deal more damage. Okay, as you can see, this guy has about 25% down from his maximum morale, so he has a 15% more damage weakness. We deal more damage to him. So let's check. Oh, I'm one-shotting him. Yes, enrage is good. One shot. This is so satisfactory, like taking that paper ball and shooting it to the trash can in one shot, like Kobe. Yes, Kobe. Oof. Burn, baby. Yep. This is an area of damage, so it doesn't really deal that much damage. Yeah, we don't really care about your ice damage. We have a fucking beefy guy here. Go. Ooh, wait, he has... Oh, physical physical weakness. Okay. This is going to kill again, but because of damage over time. Like, how much health is that? 7. How much we deal? 5% of their maximum life. Yeah, but yeah, guy, you are that, but you didn't even have a turn. Now die, motherfucker. Bye bye. Okay. This deals fire damage, but this doesn't really give fire weakness. I don't really like it. This gives minus 10 morale, and it rises all the penalties. So basically, if we had, let's say, bleeding, poison, and burn at the same time, too much work. This gives ice weaknesses, but we don't really use ice. Do we even have anyone? Oh yeah, we have Yeti. But is it worth it? Nah, I think I will go with Pandora because this is more versatile. Whereas this guy just deals damage like only to one person. Like, it's not worth it. Pandora is better, I guess, because also dealing moral damage aside from all the +2 to the thing. So, as I said before, this guy has 1 morale. In the next dungeon he will die and won't be available for 10 weeks, so why use him in the first place? Same with this guy. He has 2 morale and will be 0 next week, so he will be out of it for 10 weeks again, so let's rest them. When we rest them for not 1 week but 1 dungeon, like for 5 weeks, like if you rest them for 5 weeks they gain 3 morale, so that's a good thing. And because we have to reach the minimum 3 base, we will be using Gargoyle in the first room, because why not? We won't be using him in the second room anyway. Our team is already decided. Maybe we can switch Gromrock for another tank, but yeah, this is how we will be going. Anyway, thanks for watching, and this is going to be the end of my first tutorial video. I will be making a second one continuing from this save, so I hope you watch it even if you don't. Thanks anyway. See ya.